The most recent job report shows job opportunities are on the rise. So if you've been wanting to jump ship from your current job, you may be wondering if the time is now. So how do you know when it's time to quit? And how do you do it the right way? Here with insight and advice is Susan Solovic, author of Reinvent Your Career and special advocate with the SBE Council. Hi, Susan. Great to see you.
Nice to see you.
So pretty strong, promising jobs report.
242,000 jobs.
Sounds good. So if you're unhappy and thinking, I really want to switch jobs, is this the time? What questions do you have to ask yourself?
Well, the first thing I tell people to do is take the alarm clock test, and that is in the mornings when your alarm clock goes off. If you keep hitting the snooze button, you've got those pains in your stomach, you think, oh, I don't feel like going, you're dreading it. Maybe it is a good time to think about starting and looking for a new opportunity.
Or maybe you're just not a morning person.
Oh, yeah, that could be too. You know, I used to be when I was younger, but
that alarm clock never makes me happy. All right, now, do you also need to think about why you're leaving?
Yes, you want to think about your motivation for wanting to leave. So is it because you're having hostility or conflict with a coworker, maybe your boss, or maybe you feel pigeonholed, like there's no opportunity? So think those things through first and see if there's a way with your current employer that you could address those issues. So go to HR or something like that.
Right.
And then you also want to think about your motivation in terms of looking around the marketplace. Is your particular industry hiring right now? We saw in the jobs report, healthcare, retail, those kinds of jobs are going up, but you know, it maybe if you were in a particular industry like energy, you may not have as many opportunities.
Right, so you do a little research and find out if your industry has opportunities.
Right, exactly.
Before you. Now, so let's say you've gone through all of that, you've asked yourself all the relevant questions, and the answer is yes, it's time for me to move on. What's the next step?
The next step, Tanya, is to get your resume in place. So you don't want to wait till the last minute. I've seen people do that. Something comes up and then all of a sudden they're, oh my gosh, and they can't remember it and you make mistakes. So you want to get that resume ready. You also, and we've talked about this on this show, is you want to get your digital presence in shape. So go through, look at your LinkedIn profiles, all that stuff that's out there, and make sure it's projecting the brand that you want it to project.
That's very important. Clean it up. Now, you should also not use your work time to do this stuff, right?
You don't want to use your work time to look for another job. Your employer is paying you to be there, so look for that job on your own time. And also, Tanya, don't slack off on your performance. Even though you may have mentally checked out, you owe it to your current employer to stay on top of your performance.
And then is it wise not to tell your coworkers any of this?
Absolutely. You don't want to be blabbing it around the office. They don't want to hear it. You know, keep it to yourself.
Absolutely. Okay, so now let's say you've got the other job. How do you leave without burning bridges? I mean, you may have... If you haven't been happy there, you may have harbored a lot of resentment. Is this the time to let it all out?
No, you never should do that. Don't be angry, be gracious. Thank them for the opportunity. Don't burn those bridges. We all know that people stay in jobs for much shorter periods of time. You don't know when you're going to be connected to that person again, so you don't want to burn the bridge. You also want to give appropriate time and notice. Now, some employers have guidelines on what that should be, but typically it's 2 weeks.
Right.
And you want to make sure that during that 2 weeks that you're still performing and that you are actually offering to cross-train somebody or train a new person who's coming into the job.
Very good suggestion. So, you know, be helpful and happy all the way through to the last day.
Absolutely. Walk out with your head held high and then you go jump up in the parking lot and go, hooray!
That's right.
I'm going to Disney World.
That's right. Susan Solovic, thank you so much for that.